Hello world, I got a new guitar in and I want to do a quick comparison. Hit the like button if you want me to do additional reviews on the guitars, or if you want me to do a tone test or a sound test. So this just arrived. It's the SBS Steve Brown Sound guitar, the one with the reverse headstock and the two humbuckers. I got the purple. I think this is probably the most popular color. But I just wanted to give a couple thoughts on it compared to the Harley Benton Fusion. I got the silver sparkle model here, and over here on the right side I have the Charvel. It's the Henrik signature model made in Mexico. Also a relict machine, has the reverse headstock. I thought maybe this would be a good comparison. So first of all, the SBS arrived the other day. I didn't get the case because I think, generally when they pack these guitars, they usually pack them quite well because they have to be transported across an ocean and they don't come in cases. So the whole gimmick about, you got to put it in the case to keep it safe is not true. Save some money. Don't get the case. It came perfectly fine. I just want to note some things that I've noticed about the guitar that I like and dislike. First of all, you may have seen some of these reviews already on this guitar. It's fairly cheap. It did cost over 400 US because of this. There's the shipping cost associated with it. The Harley Benton, which comes from Europe and Tommen, it's roughly the same price. Okay, and you can get. I think the prices have gone up over the years, but I think this one here cost me like 400 US as well, but then this probably shipping is probably closer to like $80 or $60 to $80. So it's a little bit more for the shipping, but there's ways to make it efficient if you guys want to buy multiple guitars, and Tommy allows you to do that under the same shipping price. So there's a lot of good value. So back to this guitar. Right off the bat, I think it looks great, amazing. The relic job is okay. If you truly wanted to relic it, I have a guitar right here. This is what a real relic guitar looks like. It's been abused and designed to be relict from the ground up. Always have the Henrik. Sort of controversial too in terms of the relic job because they all look the same, and then obviously it doesn't look perfectly relic. It does look a bit artificial. And then you have this, which is on the lower end of the spectrum where they put very little effort to relic it. I personally like relics, so I did like it, but I'm fine with it as long as you don't really care about the way it's been done. If you hate relics or you don't really like it, you're not gonna like this. So don't buy it for the relic for sure. The other things that folks have noticed and I've noticed is like this is a Floyd Rose special. Okay, it's a lower end quality Floyd. There's nothing wrong with them, as if you're not abusing the guitar and you don't use the tremolo that often. I don't think it really matters, to be honest. You're not gigging this guitar every day, then this will hold up for a little bit. And you can always upgrade it to whatever you want. So plop that right in. From the factory, it isn't set up. I mean, I think it's out of tune. The Floyd Rose is a bit, I think it's okay in terms of the setup. The Floyd Rose isn't not perfectly flat, but it's up to personal preference and how you want to set up a Floyd Rose. The action is reasonably okay. There isn't any dead spots. My only biggest complaint is probably the frets about this. So they're one reviewer said they're medium frets. I think they're fine. The Harley Benton and the Charvel are bigger frets. These are like the biggest frets of all between these three guitars. This is actually the Charvel. I think they're like fairly jumbo, medium jumbo. They're taller. The Harley Benton is better value because they're also stainless steel frets. Questionable, to be honest, if they're truly stainless steel, but there are better frets. They're taller, a little beefier. These ones are okay. They're not thin like the original Fender 60s guitars, but they're usable. Like they're fine, perfectly fine, to be honest. My other gripe about the frets, or the fret ends, right? I'm zooming in, you can see that, the way they've been cut. I don't have any sharp edges. And some folks may have, this is where quality control, maybe I got lucky. I don't have any sharp edges, man. I can go up and down the necks, and I don't really feel it. However, because the way it's not rounded, like the Harley Benton, right? There's a bit of a like rounding that's there, right? The Charvel, same thing, is a little bit more. They took a file and spent a little bit more time on the frets, whereas literally this one, they plowed right through it. So the problem with this is that I don't know if this is a truly roasted maple neck, but even on I had the Charvel DK24, and it had terrible fret sprout. What happens is that when humidity changes, the frets will stick out, and it becomes really sharp and terrible. And even Charvel had that problem. So I predict that's going to happen, even though I just got the guitar. Over time, the frets will stick out, and you'll have fret sprout, and you'll have, if you need to work on the frets, if you want to keep the guitar, that's probably one of the downsides of how these frets have been sort of laid out and tooled at this time right now. Other than that, I think it's an amazing guitar. The other notable thing I wanted to mention is the neck profile. So this is the back of the guitar. Sorry, flipping it around here. So in this case, there's a bit of flame on this, which is great. The Harley Benton, hit or miss, you get some flame on that. The strange thing is that the neck between the Harley Benton and this guy, they're awfully similar. In fact, I wouldn't, like in the blind test, I would think they were almost identical. They're a little beefier. So they're not like the Fender C, thinner Fender C shape. They're not like Ibanez thin. And they're not as thin as the Charvel, speed necks. They're a little beefier. Okay, not by much, but you do feel it. I equate it to maybe like an Ibanez AZ, if you've tried that guitar before. A little bit beefier, which is not, it's just okay for some folks, but if you don't like that, then I know this wouldn't be the guitar for you. The neck feels the same, like the varnish, the way the lacquer that's on the back of the neck is more smooth. Feels almost identical to what the Harley Benton does, right? So maybe that's a good thing or not, I don't know. But these necks are almost identical, right? So if you like that, just giving you a reference in terms of the neck feel and quality. So that's a good thing. The other thing about the Harley Benton, right, is that you do get, this is obviously not a floored, but you can get a floored model. They're roughly about the same price. You get coil splits and stuff like that, so you do get a little bit more value out of the Harley Benton, right? So if you're already using Harley Bentons, I'm not sure you will see a whole lot of value getting out of this. Even the newer models of Harley Bentons, I think they've creeped up in price, but you can get ones with reverse headstocks, just like this, right? And they sound amazing too. I mean, they're not all non-branded pickups and stuff like that, so they're similar in that way. The Charvel is about 3 to 4 times more costly, but you can feel the difference. The neck on this is by far the best neck you can get the money for. This is an ash body. It's also fairly light. One of the reviewers mentioned that how light this guitar is. I don't think it's as light as these other two. Like they're roughly the same in terms of weight. This is alder. I forget what Harley Benton uses, some other non-traditional wood to keep the costs down. And this is obviously ash, which is supposed to be the heavier one. But in this case, the examples I have, the Charvel is actually the lightest of the three, right? My Frankie here weighs like 10 pounds, but who knows why? Like it's like that hardcore northern ash. It's supposed to be a little heavier. But amongst the three of these guitars, the best playing is the Charvel. The Harley Benton and the SBS come pretty close in terms of playability. No, this guitar it's a keeper if as long as the frets stay intact, and it requires a little bit of a setup. The floor should be fine over time, but again, it's a trivial thing to be able to upgrade. The tone test, if you guys like the video, I'm happy to post another video on a tone test if you guys like. I did upgrade the pickups on the Harley Benton, so it wouldn't be a one-to-one comparison. And obviously we're designed differently in terms of its use. But great, amazing. If you have any questions, comments, leave down below. Okay, bye.